Cage Minds, Micah Frankel. Bellator 106 is just a couple days away, moved from pay-per-view to Spike TV, and we are honored to be interviewing in one of the 3 title fights. He is the challenger for the featherweight crown. We have Daniel Straus with us. Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
I'm good. Just spent the day putting up Halloween decorations, getting ready for the holiday. How are you?
I'm good, man. Hanging out. Did a little church this morning and, resting up. So, just getting ready for next few days of training and last week of training and then, getting ready to get in there and fight.
We're 5 days away, 6 days away now. So how much training is there really left to be done?
Training-wise, not much. You can tweak some things and put some things in your head or whatnot, but, now it's just the mental battle starts, being focused on what you got to do, cutting the weight, making the weight, and just preparing yourself for Saturday.
We haven't seen you fight in over a year. There's been a lot of stuff outside of the cage. You had a broken hand, I believe. What do you think about ring rust? You were a guy that set a crazy pace for yourself in action, and also with having 25 fights in under 5 years. So is it ring rust, or has it been just a time to recover for yourself?
Only time tell. I use the time, just to repair my body and have my body rest. You really can't say I have ring rust until I get in there. If I get in there tomorrow, no one's gonna be like, oh, yeah, it's ring rust. You know what I mean? If I get in there and look horrible, that's the first thing people are gonna say. But, just mentally, man, I just, like I said, I just been prepping myself for this fight, preparing for this fight. Anytime you're off a year or more, it's going to be rough on you, getting in there and fighting again. But you just have to look past that, man. Mentally, you just have to get through it and do what you trained to do, because any fight is, you can say a guy has rough. So, I'm just looking forward to, like I said, just getting that fight and getting that belt.
You're an American top team now. It's a huge camp down there, a lot of guys to work with. So some people could say ring rust, but only you would know. How active have you been, training, working with other guys, just helping out, just keep yourself grounded and in shape?
Yeah, I'm down here with a great camp, great coaches. I have a lot of support, great support. So, they've kept me healthy. They've kept me ready. Every one of my training partners, helping guys with their fights and, just learning from some of the best, athletes as well as coaches. I don't see myself going in that's having ring rust. I just go in and figure myself and, taking a long time off. So, like I said, man, I just, I think when I go in there, it's mostly mental. So, I'm just get ready to do what I have to do.
You were the Season 6 tournament winner. We're in Season 9, and everything's finally come together to make the title shot happen. Was there any down times in there where you were thinking, wow, this just ain't going to happen, or anything like that?
No, me personally, I always knew this was going to happen. This fight, as soon as I won the tournament, I knew this fight was going to happen. One way or another, this fight was going to happen. I've said it before, not only does Bellator want it to happen, but a lot of fans want it to happen. It's a great fight, it's a great matchup. You got two great opponents that, ready to fight each other. So why wouldn't it happen? Nothing's going to keep me out of the cage. Nothing's going to keep me away from fighting. So, it was just, time within tell, and, eventually it took a year, but, it's here now. So that's I'm really excited for it.
I know that it's back there in the background. People want to talk about revenge. You two have fought before. Pat came out victorious in that one. But it was so long ago. I mean, you were 6 fights into your career or something, but it was only a few months into your pro career. It's been about 4.5 years since then. Is there any thought of that, or is so much time passed and you both are such different fighters that that's just what it is?
Yeah, I don't think about revenge, man. I've said it a couple times. There's no way that either one of us can go back to that last fight, study that last fight, and come into this fight thinking that we know how to beat the other guy. I'm a completely different fighter. He's a completely different fighter. We've progressed in our careers. We've gotten better. We've had some big fights since then. And, this fight isn't as far as, to me, it's like I said, it's not as, a revenge thing. It's just to get in there and win the belt thing to me. If I go in there thinking about revenge and how he beat me the last time, I'll be a fool. I was wise enough to understand that I was a young fighter. I've been wise enough to understand I didn't have the proper training at the time. And I think that's what ultimately helped me get better and get to this position. Because after fighting Pat, I started taking the sport, a lot really serious, getting a lot of training, linking up with different training partners and different coaches. And, it's definitely not a revenge thing. It's, two guys meeting each other for the first time again.
First time again. So from the new Pat Curran that you've studied, where do you think he's best at? What's his best attribute?
His best attribute is just being really elusive, man. He's really difficult to read. Yes, he has good boxing, but he has a lot of great qualities. He's good stand up, he has a good ground game, he's solid in his wrestling. He's really crafty, so he throws some elbows, he throws some nice knees. So you always have to be ready when you fight Pat Curran, and which is cool to say because I feel like I'm the same way. So it's like fighting a mirror image a little bit, and you just have to be prepared for those things. You have to shoot first, you have to strike first, and you have to stay on top of the fight as one, and not just each punch.
We know you as a cardio machine and someone that presses the pace, pushes the action. Are you expecting to be able to keep that up for 5 rounds?
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely believe I can. Anybody going into a title fight, has to work on their cardio and, being a part of this sport, you just can't just come in and say that you can, fight a guy for 25 minutes and it's no big deal. But, that's been one thing that I've always been, gifted with is a high pace and, a pretty good gas tank. So, I don't want to slow it down and I don't want to, stop what I'm good at, so, that's something I'll still be doing, is working forward, every last round, all 5 minutes of every round. So, I expect to be on top of them, moving forward, for the whole 25 minutes if it goes that long.
I asked you about Pat's best attribute. What attribute of yours is going to be most difficult for him to handle?
It's kind of the same thing. Like I said with him, he's really elusive, and the thing about this fight is we're really similar. And I think what, my best attribute, it would be the same. I feel like you can read me in one way and I can strike in another way. I like to beat guys at what they're best at. So if you're a ground specialist, I'll go to the ground with you, beat you up on the ground, and then take it to where I want it to go. So, me switching it up and pushing the pace and, being, elusive as well, I think it'll definitely work in my favor. you know, people expect me to wrestle with him and take him down. And, you know, I don't think, you know, that's something I really want to do with him. You know, he's a great striker. So, you know, that's something I'd like to, you know, implement in my game plan is, just being elusive.
Being elusive, coming into this fight, what is something that you have to do to make sure that you come out victorious as the new champion?
In this fight, I think I just have to stop him. You know, one way or the other, I have to stop him. You know, I don't think this is a fight that I can win by decision. I think this is just a fight that, you know, has to be stopped. Knockout, submission, you know, whatever it is, I think it just has to be done. You know, Pat's a favorite in a lot of people's eyes, and that being said, you know, you can't come into a fight and have a close fight and expect to walk away with it. So I think for me, I'm going to have to stop him.
On that, also haven't seen him come away with a razor-thin decision in a previous title defense. Does that also kind of get into your mind that, you know, the judges are favoring the champion?
In a way. You know, that fight with Pitbull, it was a close fight. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't win that fight. But yeah, it was a close fight. And anytime you have the belt, you know, it's an untold rule that you have to make sure that you beat that guy. You know, you have to prove that you beat that guy. Like I said, you just can't come out and have a close fight and expect to win that decision. You know, because that guy's a champ for a reason. So you have to come out and, you know, you have to put it on him. You have to make it so obvious that you beat him that it's, you know, you can't go home and be like, oh, well, you know, it was a close fight. You know, so with him having you know, a close fight, his last fight, he's thinking the same thing. You know, he has to make sure that he has to win, and I'm thinking of the same thing as well. You know, I have to make sure that I show everyone, you know, the judges, the viewers, you know, Bellator, you know, doing everybody, you know. I just have to show that I'm winning that fight and beating him.
Did you ever used to, like, ever watch pro wrestling?
When I was a kid, man, I was a huge fan of wrestling when I was a little kid.
So you remember Ric Flair, right?
Of course. Who doesn't?
So you're kind of saying your mentality is what he used to say, to be the man, you got to beat the man. You can come in there and try to aggressively, you know, put your stamp on the fight, kind of how you did against Alvin Robinson. So you wanted a fight, you went into that fight with the game plan of finishing. That's kind of the mentality you're working towards now, or is it still on a game plan by game plan basis?
In a way, yes. You know, I'm never going to change how I feel about fighting, you know, to please, you know, everyone, because that's how, I feel like that's how, you know, you start losing fights and, you know, whatnot. I'm here to win fights. You know, I'm not here to, you know, try to be a knockout artist because that's what the next man wants to see. My job is to fight. My job is to win. You know, now with that being said, there's some of these fights that I should be able to knock the guy out, you know, and I should push harder a little bit on knocking the guy out, or, you know, I should be able to, you know, submit a guy. I should try harder to submit a guy. So, you know, with each fight, it calls different things, you know, different tactics, different, game plans. I think that's just, you know, something that you have to work on, you know, and that's what I've been working on. So I think each fight, like I said, you know, I still go game plan by game plan, but, you know, I definitely am working harder to, get finishes.
Sounds great. Everybody likes the excitement. It's just one of those things. It's like people love the home run, they love the knockout, they love the stoppage, and the crowd goes wild. Also, with what's going on for you with this fight, wanted to ask about, does it feel like a title fight? In the sense of, I know the training feels like and everything, but like the outside, like the media attention, other obligations that you've had, does this feel like a title fight, or does it just feel like another fight again, so it's in a way easier that way?
To me, honestly, I think it just feels like a regular fight. You know, it's not like it's been put in everybody's face. I don't think it's been blown up like it's a title fight. So to me, it's just like a regular fight. So, you know, it's been treated like that to others. So to me, that's how it comes off of. It makes it a little bit easier. You know, you don't have to sit there and, you know, drill it in your head how much of a title fight it is because, you know, you do that in training practice. You know, so, it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have that ruckus and that, you know, that nervousness and whatnot. But, you know, we both know that we're going in there, you know, expected to, be able to fight 5 rounds. So, you know, anybody knows that with 5 rounds comes a title. So, you know, that's all we're looking forward to.
When the news broke that the pay-per-view was being moved back to Spike TV, any effect to you, or was it just a side note? You're like, oh, really?
Yeah, actually I was sitting there with a friend and, you know, I heard the news and I was like, wow, you know, I didn't know it was pay-per-view, or at the time didn't know it wasn't pay-per-view anymore. And, you know, when I heard the news, I was a little surprised, but it didn't affect me in any way. You know, to me, the only thing I can think about is just, you know, the more people that can be watching it in my eyes, you know, either way, pay-per-view, Spike TV, or, you know, if it wasn't on TV, I'm still going to work just as hard to get this fight, you know, done and win. So, you know, the viewers, you know, I'm thankful for them. I appreciate everyone that's going to watch it, you know, being on Spike TV, all the fans of Bellator, you know, I'm grateful for it. So, you know, I'm just glad everyone gets to see it now.
Is there any thought for you? I know you don't want to look too far in the future, but 2013, you're only going to get the one fight in. Have you thought about how active you're hoping to be next year?
Yeah, definitely, man. Win, lose, or draw, man. I just want to be able to fight more. You know, I want to have some more fights. You know, I definitely want to stay active. You know, my body's healthy. You know, I want to just get back in there and be able to fight again. And, you know, 2014, I just want to, you know, get more fights, get back on the ball, get back on what I've been doing. You know, and, you know, being able to get, you know, 3, 4 fights a year, if not more. So, you know, in the upcoming year, man, that's all I'm really focused on, is trying to get more fights.
It's been a year. What does the new Daniel Straus feel like? We haven't seen you in a year, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of skills, a lot of technique that's crisper. What is it now, the new version of you? You know, what's that like?
Well, really, it's just, you know, I feel great. As a person, I feel great. You know, as a fighter, I feel great. Now, you know, to the, for everyone else's eyes, it's just something that people will have to wait and see, you know. I feel like I look different. You know, I feel like, my punching sharper. I feel like my kickboxing is a little better. I feel like my jiu-jitsu is a little better. But, like I said, to everyone to watch it, just, you know, they'll have to wait and see.
A lot of trials and tribulations leading up to this over the last year. How much has it helped you all grow as a person?
It's helped me. You know, I take everything for face value. You know, I can't dwell on any problems that I've had, rather it be, you know, big problems, small problems, you know, family problems or whatnot. You know, I have a great crew behind me. You know, I have great people around me. You know, I have a beautiful daughter. You know, so everything's just right in everything's just right in my life to me. You know, I'm still able to do the things I love to do. I still, you know, am able to say that I can fight for, you know, Bellator. So to me, everything's good.
Again, I'm one of those people that's been long awaiting for this fight, several seasons and a few couple summer series. We've been waiting for this fight. Know you've been waiting a long time for this fight. thank you for the time for the interview, and wanted to give you time to thank everyone that's helped you.
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me. Second off, I want to thank all my friends, family, fans, for supporting me. Being there for me. I want to thank my sponsors, Swollen Knuckles, Bang Town, Cage Fighter, Contract Killer. I just want to thank everybody.
Thank you for the time, everyone. Spike TV, it's 9 o'clock Eastern, I believe, Saturday night, November 2nd. Tune in, watch Daniel Straus challenge Pat Curran for the Featherweight World Title of Bellator. Thanks for listening. Micah Frankel, CageMinds.com.